Hello, everyone. On this Sunday, 24th August 2025, I am Madam Anireju Erewa. Whatever time you are right now, I greet and welcome you to my channel, Anireju News. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Mete wa Biafra de no. Mete na wa Biafra de no. Asina he yi jibi megi. Mete wa Biafra de no. Akane hiora. Dule o. Mete wa Biafra de no.
As it can be so, British created the Nigeria mainly for reckless misuse of Eastern region resources for the benefit of the British, Fulani, and Yoruba, and for hatred and blaming of particularly Igbo people, and to perceive coastal as if it's not Eastern region Biafra territory. This is a very serious, grievous sin. British, Fulani, and Yoruba committed against coastal, diverse, tribal people. Yes. It's a serious sin committed against us, coastal. The name Isaac Adakaboro was unknown and was never heard of. His name and some of his activities was heard about for the first time in one of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu broadcast. This was before the extraordinary rendition. It was in RBL Radio Biafra London that I heard the name Frank Opigo, and Ijaw, who gave the name Biafra. Also, in one of a leader question and answer session that he was holding to educate people about the struggle, the agitation and areas that people didn't know about. So he was doing this and very helpful. So it was in one of these question and answer session when a caller asked him, how did the name Biafra came about? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in his response, said that an Ijaw principal at Okirika Grammar School, Chief Frank Opigo, suggested to General Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu in a meeting held in Onitsha on 27 May 1967. That was 3 days before Ojukwu declared Biafra independence. So it was in that meeting that the name for the emerging country should be Republic of Biafra. Frank Opigo and Ijaw suggested it. And the meaning, or what it meant, was that we are all together as Eastern region. Not southeast and south to south. We are all together as Eastern region, which Ojukwu accepted the name. Yes. The Isaac Adakaboro in 1966 became a Fulani tribe to hate anything Igbo. He disrespected Aguiyi Ironsi government. Isaac Adakaboro exhibited a treason towards Aguiyi Ironsi government. And that's when Aguiyi Ironsi sentenced the Adakaboro to prison. And Gowon released Adakaboro to join his Nigeria army to fight Biafra, to become enemy of Biafra. Shall now they hear? And Frank Obiko, Chief Obiko, and Adakaboro, they are from the same Ijaw Bayelsa. Ijaw. Yeah. Okay. There is information online about some Ijaw that have peculiar hatred for Igbo people and blaming Aguiyi Ironsi, blaming Igbo people for what befell Isaac Adakaboro. and his so-called Bida Nupe Fulani Edo Islamic North Royal Niger Delta movement for the emancipation of Ijaw people. Yeah. Okay. You will hear in the videos. I have 3 clips that gave inside knowledge of the Isaac Adakaboro scenarios and also other video clips about the coup and video clip who chased the Yoruba Ogundipe to Europe, and video of Aisha Youssef sudden support for IPOB referendum, and a video of Igbo bite of Biafra among the 5 African nations that built America, and photos of Chief Frank Opiko, who gave the name Biafra, and a daily news of Canada court ruling against 2 Nigeria political parties, APC and PDP, on the false terrorist proscription of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yeah, so all this we're going to see. And it will vindicate Igbo that most of these blames that they keep putting on Igbo is premeditated, showing that Nigeria was created to blame Igbo for everything. Yes, so this program, this episode will expose it all, and that's why there's going to be clips, yes. Let's watch the first video.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, and depend on your time zone. There is this thing the Niger Deltans, especially Ijaws, are holding against the Igbos, and I think it's better we resolve it. I've looked into several materials on that, and would like us to see this one too. This is not my report, but for the sake of deliberations, I have to borrow it. Who killed Adakaboro? Why the blame on Igbo, accusing them of betrayal? Was Adakaboro betrayed? According to this report, it said, I have read many false history that breeds hatred against the Igbo regarding Adakaboro. A majority of Ijaw believe Igbo betrayed Adakaboro and killed him. This makes me laugh. Ignorance is a disease. A lack of history. Mazi just shuddering in disbelief that people can be so gullible to peddle falsehood. For what gain? Let's go to history. Who is Adakaboro? Isaac Adakaboro was a University of Nigerian soccer student. He was also the SUG president of the said university. He failed election 2 times before he won, then blamed his failure on Igbo, claiming he lost because he was Ijaw and suffered tribalism in his region. Remember, Adakaboro was enjoying the scholarship of Eastern Region government. He was on free education. He heard from Oloidiri Bayelsa, and he was the first person to declare secession in 1966 at the age of 27. Adakaboro's rebellion was sponsored by the Tafawa Balewa government. Tafawa Balewa government believed that the NCNC and AG were sponsoring the thief unrest, the TIFI, or whatever I call it, and the UNBC are led by Joseph Taka. And to deal with NCNC, Adakaboro was sponsored to cause insurrection with his boys. They began to destroy things. Adakaboro used his father's backyard as a training ground to arm his boys. As Ironsi took over, through MD Yusuf, CID chief, he noticed that the Adakaboro insurrection was Balewa's plan. He issued military order and Boro was arrested and incarcerated for 2 weeks. Remember, he was causing this unrest before the coup. After the January coup, where one of his key sponsors, Tafawa Balewa, was killed, Boro was very angry. He called Tafawa Balewa the projector of Ijaw. Adakaboro declared Ijaw Republic on February 1966, a month after the coup. And he was so radical and courageous that as a student, he dragged the federal government to court. And he was seeking the nullification of the 1963 general election. When he proclaimed the Niger Delta Republic in February 1966, Boro argued that the region where the nation's wealth comes from has suffered years of neglect and underdevelopment. But scholars believed this was not the main reason of declaring the Niger Delta Republic. Have you asked yourself why the Niger Delta elders, including his father, didn't support him? See the reasons according to reviews by scholars. South African anti-apartheid activist and scholar Ruth First, as quoted by Catherine Nwajiako, states that Boro and his men were in league with senior northern officers and had wanted to use the threat of revolution to trigger the imposition of a state of emergency by the northern-led federal government prior to the first coup. Before the January coup, Adakaboro and his men were already sponsored by the Fulani Caliphate to cause insurrection. His brother confirmed this. David, his younger brother, during an interview with Punch, said that his brother received support from the North before the declaration of a Niger Delta Republic. He said Isaac Boro did not just start the 12-day revolution and decided to declare a Niger Delta Republic. He said there was some degree of encouragement from the North. He said Boro himself admitted to having close ties with the Balewa government.
You have seen the video. Okay. Let's watch the second video.
How did 27-year-old undergraduate student had funds to secure weapons, mass out-talk, and militia? Was he being supported by the elders of Ijaw? David, his brother, continued, Our father advised him against it and told him to face his studies because he was a student. Adakaboro did not just declare Niger Delta Republic. He was fighting the federal government under the leadership of Ijaw through his Niger Delta Volunteer Force. He believed that the regime must be dissolved. The northern leaders funded him to attack the government. NDVF and the Nigerian forces, which is widely known as the 12-day revolution, led to the death of over 150 people. The armed militia led by Boro was overpowered by the Nigerian forces, while Boro and Samuel Owonaru, who was the chief of staff of the Niger Delta Volunteer Force, and other leaders of the militia were arrested and charged for treason. When they appealed before Justice Phil Ebosia of the Port Harcourt High Court, he said they were sentenced to death, but the sentence was commuted to life in jail. Remember, they didn't just declare independence, but fighting federal forces and killing people. A year later, following the 1966 Igbo pogrom in Kano that killed over 50,000 Igbo, and after the series of counter-coup which killed the first military head of state, Ijaw, and also after the Abure Accord disobeyed by Gowon, Emeka Odumegwu Ojukwu declared Biafra, and he was being forced by Eastern Region Consultative Committee. Remember, at this time, Ijaw elders supported Biafra. The name Biafra was given by a Ijaw man from Adakaboro's tribe and state, Opugo. Gowon saw Boro an important tool in his campaign of quelling Ojukwu's rebellion and the opportunity of ingraining the northern love and anchor for the oil rivers they claimed were suffering Igbo domination and subjugation. Gowon released Isaac Adakaboro from prison and recruited him into the Nigerian army in order to fight Ojukwu and the Igbo. What did Adakaboro do? He recruited 1,000 Rivers men into army to fight Biafrans. The Nigerian military, led by Adakaboro, killed all their chiefs and elders who were pro-Biafrans and installed young people like Diet Spiff 23 as the governor. Many of Ijaw elders ran away to exile and never returned because of Adakaboro. Most of his boys and federal troops would kill Biafran soldiers, strip their camouflage, and use it to constitute different mayhems in the region that people of that place would later accuse it on the Igbo army. Adekunle the Black Scorpion committed a lot of atrocities, and you know what? He was working with Adakaboro. Could you imagine?
You have seen the video. Let's watch the third video.
Adakaboro led the federal troops to Igbo hinterland and many places in rivers and killed the pro-Biafrans. The worst of Adaka's atrocity was the Opobo incident. What happened? Boro led the Nigerian military to kill a lot of people in Opobo, exiled their chiefs. He believed they are Igbo people. This incident made a lot of people in Rivers to start changing their names from Igbo to something else. As you can see today, perhaps this was the reason. Perhaps. The first doctor from Eche was killed by Boro-led army. He did a lot of things. He took Nigerian troops into Eastern Heartland. What happened was that he started making noise, bragging how he has defeated Biafrans. That was when the Nigerian military felt he's no more important and deleted him. Just like, they delete from the system. Delete this virus, perhaps. Many fingers pointed at Adekunle, who was called the Black Scorpion, and as an instrument for Adakaboro's elimination in May 9, 1968 at Okrika, Rivers State. Remember, by this time, Port Harcourt, Uyo, Calabar, Body, and many other oil-rich areas have been captured. There was no need for him anymore. He helped the federal troops conquer these places, and of course, they ended him just as they ended Ken Saro-Wiwa, who did same with Adakaboro. Then, how did Ijaw kill Adakaboro, whereas everywhere had been captured before he died? How did Ijaw betray Adakaboro? Someone who killed his people and was used by the Fulani Caliphate against himself. Someone who forced Ijaw pro-Biafran chiefs to exile, dethrone and kill them. How did Ijaw betray him? How and how? Someone who dealt with Chief Opiogo, his kinsmen, for supporting Biafra. Ken Saro-Wiwa also used abandoned property to seize Chief Opiogo's properties in Port Harcourt. Chief Opiogo, who named Biafra property, is where Rivers State College of Arts and Science is currently located. Like Adakaboro, like Ken Saro-Wiwa, they join outsiders to kill their own out of hate, jealousy, and strife. The same outsiders kill them because they don't trust anyone who killed his own. In Obasanjo's book called My Command, Olusegun Obasanjo described Boro and his 1,000 soldiers as ill-disciplined, hurriedly and poorly trained rivers men. Alabi Isama's book paints picture of his death in Okrika to be a cleanup from sin, use and dump, someone who organized barracks to train Nigerian army and used paddling techniques and many more to lead federal troops to kill the Ijaw. That was how Adakaboro destroyed himself, by betraying himself, his people, and got killed by those he joined to kill his people. Nobody betrayed him. Is this the case of what happened in Orin that led, they took up the Yoruba man who betrayed his people and was, I don't know, perhaps this is the same case? For the records and healing, the deadly wound still being nursed by the Ijaw of our day. This was why this report was put up.
You have seen the video. Adakaboro gave himself away for the Fulani to destroy him over time. You heard it all in the video. Yes. So everyone blaming Ijaw, that Ijaw murdered Adakaboro. You heard it now in the video. Adakaboro gave himself away to the Fulani and they deleted him. Yes. Okay. He was playing a Fulani eye in Eastern region. Okay. So, the Tompolo and INEC unlawful world delegations to Ijaw in Warri Kingdom, that is Ishekiri titled territory, is a dirty play out of the Ijaw Adakaboro and the Fulani Tafawa Balewa. Yes, it's what is playing out. That's what is playing out. Nigeria awarded Tompolo contracts and huge corruption money from which Tom Polo shared portion of the corruption money with APC INEC in quest to invade Ishekiri, Iwere territorial land in the coastal, like Usman Dampodio did with Hausa in the north and Ilorin Yoruba in the west around 1814. And Bida Nupe Fulani did with Kukuruku, Agbede Edo North, around 1860. That's the game. That's the game Tom Polo and INEC are playing. Want to play in Ishekiri territorial, Warri Kingdom. How are you going to do that? Okay. Tom Polo, he not get shame at all. Tom Polo is rubbing shoulders with Fulani, who bragged on social media that Ijaw Bayelsa oil, where Isaac Adakaboro hailed from, belonged to the Fulani North. Still not there. Okay. And the Adakaboro Bayelsa Ijaws, or the Tom Polo Baramatu Ijaws, could not express their hatred for the Fulani for such an open claim that Bayelsa Ijaw oil belonged to Fulani North. Now, question I do now they also. And this Bayelsa Ijaws are blaming Igbo, and they hate Igbo about Adakaboro that Fulani eliminated. But the same Fulani are saying that the oil in Bayelsa, where Adakaboro hailed from, belonged to them. And Ijaw Bayelsa, you could not do anything. You allow Fulani to say that. If it were to be Igbo wey say that, una go dey make noise. You will be making noise. Yes. But Fulani said, oh yeah, from where Adakaboro hailed from, Bayelsa belonged to them. And you all keep quiet. Okay, we continue. And by the way, the AK-47 rifles Fulani helped Tom Polo to acquire. Shey Tom Polo go use the weapon to fight Fulani that has taken over Ijaw Bayelsa oil? I am just asking question to some of the Adakaboro Ijaws who are haters of Igbo. It's a pragmatic question I'm asking. Yes, I'm asking. Ishekiri Iwere people not get anything to do with how Isaac Adakaboro and Tom Polo gave their Ijaw Bayelsa and Baramatu destiny away to Fulani in the north. Ishakiri didn't have anything to do with it. So, Tom Polo, how you can't disturb Ishakiri for Warri Kingdom? Fulani is taking over your own territory. You couldn't do anything. Instead, you want to duplicate Isaac Adakaboro, bring INEC to Ishakiri. And yet, Fulani is taking over your own territory. Giving you money to come do waiting for Warri Kingdom that rightly belong to Ishakiri. Okay. All right. All right. Let's watch a photo of Chief Frank Obiko. That is photo of Chief Frank Obigo, the Ijaw, who gave the name Biafra that Ojukwu accepted. You saw the photo. So it's not Igbo who gave the name. It's Ijaw from the same Bayelsa Ijaw that Adakaboro hailed from. And you heard what Adakaboro did to him and many others that embraced Biafra, and how many have to change their name. Okay. Let's watch the 5th video.
Odumegwu Ojukwu, head of an independent state, not the young Emeka whom I had known in Yaba, Lagos in the early 50s. I outlined my mission. I was there to persuade him to call a halt to the firing from his side, while one more effort was made to resolve the conflict between the federal government and its now seceded state. The sticky point, however, was that this would require placing a hold on the secession. That's showing Kada. He has told us his mission to Biafra. Was that not a good mission?
Thank you. Till tomorrow, it remains not only a good mission, but a patriot's move to save unnecessary wastages of lives and property in their millions. So may the souls of all those who died in the Nigeria Civil War continue to rest in peace. Now, before declaring Eastern region of Nigeria the Republic of Biafra, Lieutenant Colonel Chukwumeka Odumegwu Ojukwu had stood on the outcome of the Aburi meeting between him and the then military head of state of Nigeria, then Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon, that the regions will get more autonomy. Nigeria will be run on a federal system. On getting back to Nigeria, some federalists, particularly civil servants, permanent secretary at the federal level, studied the papers and told Yakubu Gowon to his face that you have come with a paper that has dissolved the Federal Republic of Nigeria because it allowed for autonomy for the regions.
Is that not true?
Everything about Nigeria in the past, very true and relevant as we speak today, Saturday, 1st of May, 2021. The Federalists were led by the immediate past Oba of Benin,
Or by radio?
Ikwa Polo Polo, He was then the federal permanent secretary. So he was among the team that studied the paper brought from Aburi, Ghana. And they told Gawan, sir, you've sold out Nigeria. It's just a moment of a strike of the pen. Bye-bye, Nigeria. So he asked, what should we do? They said, don't abide by this agreement. And that was the main cause of the war.
Ojukwu said on Aburi we stand.
That is it. Aburi is available now on the streets, social media, for those who are not born in 1966-67 to study. Because the agreement was, let us go back to the founding fathers' agreement that the regions will control certain aspects of their resources, talent, and vision. So we come to the federal level on basis of equality, which had been overturned by the May 21 decree of 1966 of Major General JTU Agui Ironsi. Agui Ironsi turned Nigeria from federation to group of provinces, whereby civil servants can be taken from Okigwe to Ikire or to Kaura Namuda on transfer. So the Hausas, the Northerners, look at themselves and said, what is our percentage at the federal level? What is the level of our education to compare to the South? And they said, this is bringing to light the forecast of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. I quote Azikiwe now. It's only a matter of moment that Nigeria will be controlled by the Igbos.
Now, the Aburi confusion led us to war.
Did you say confusion?
Yes.
Okay.
I said confusion.
Yes, you have it right.
Because if you ask some federalists, they will tell you that they did not back out of the agreement. That Ojukwu misinterpreted the agreement.
No.
Ojukwu was prepared for Aburi. Do you wonder why Gowon and others were not as prepared as Ojukwu for that meeting?
Excuse me, please. With due respect to the person of General Yakubu Gowon, today is a PhD holder in political science, obtained from Warwick University, United Kingdom. With all due respect to him, as at the time of the crisis, 1966, 67, 68, 69, until it was toppled, I'm sorry, Yakubu Gowon was, far below the academic level of Lieutenant Colonel Odumeko Ojukwu.
Ojukwu was an Oxford graduate.
You have seen the video and heard of the Oba Ijaw went with Gowon with David Ijaw to Aburi. They went unprepared, and when they got there, they were shocked that Ojukwu was very prepared. Igbo people are always ever prepared. Yes, Biafrans are ever prepared. Yes. And it scared the Igbo Biafra haters. It scared them that Ojukwu was prepared. It even scared the British. Yes, it scared them. Biafra is very prepared. Yes. Let's watch the 6th video.
IPOB has maintained its demand for a referendum on Biafra's independence, while the Nigerian government insists the group's activities threaten national security. I do not see anything that threatens national security because people are asking for a referendum. There should be a referendum. Every region should be asked whether they want to be part of Nigeria. And if there's any region that does not want to be part of Nigeria, it's okay to allow that region to go its own way. Holding them hostage, because this is really holding them hostage, it's wrong. If you do a referendum, then you put it to rest. If they want to go, fine. If they want to stay, whether it is IPOB, whether it is Arewa, whether it is Odudua, whether it is South people, Let everybody decide. It is already 110 years, or it's already 111 years since the amalgamation, when the Northern Protectorate and the Southern Protectorate were put together. Why are you still forcing people to stay together? I have always said it, and I'll continue to say it. We need to have a Nigerian conversation. But by the way, has Kanu Nwankwo been vindicated? Now they have said APC and PDP are terrorist organizations, according to a Canadian court. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
You have seen the video and heard how Aisha Yusuf added her voice to call for referendum. But wait, did Aisha Yusuf labeled coastal eastern region as South-South? Does she know geography? Aisha Yusuf, do you know geography? South-South that you labeled for coastal means an extension of the Islamic Kukuruku Aigbede Edo North of Benin South. That's what it meant. No. Coastal that you labeled South-South is not an extension of Edo North Benin South. No, not at all. Not at all. This is a tactics of divide and conquer political scheme of the British, Fulani Yoruba, and Aigbede Edo North. Yes, we have to call a spade a spade. This is media time. This is not the era anymore where you do things and no media. Yes. Yes. South-South is an abomination, forbidden word that describes insignificant, non-existent people of no value to a society or in a society, only useful as a decorative piece. There is no geography map in the world that has east, north, south, and west. No. Okay. South is an Islamic fabrication of people who knew no better but thought they knew in the British pit of hell, Nigeria. Coastal is not South. Coastal is eastern region where the sun rises. Coastal is Biafra. Okay. And Aisha Yusuf said nothing about the Nigeria presidential jet that was used to kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria, DSS, in unlawful extraordinary rendition. And the British Nigeria silence conspiracies, secrecies to incarcerate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS Fulani Yoruba custody that included the Binta Yanko, Malami Fagbemi, and John Soho, continued unlawful cold, calculated, cherry-pick persecution, torture of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the Fulani Nigeria DSS over a 10-year period. And now the Yoruba Omotosho unlawful trials of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Aisha yourself, you kind of put this face, make her look like say you mean the support for referendum. You are a Fulani woman. Yes. You only said that, but you didn't talk about all this. You didn't call for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu release unconditionally. He has been released. He has been freed. But Fulani kept him there. You didn't talk about that. Okay. All right. All right. The Nigeria Abuja Appeals Court and Kenya East Africa High Court already freed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally in 2022 and in 2025 respectively. Okay. The question to Aisha yourself is, why did she feature a photo of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in her video and she didn't say anything about him? She talked about the referendum and IPOB, but she did not. So why did she put his picture there? And that's why I brought this point, because when I saw the picture, I thought she was going to talk about these atrocities, unlawful treatments that Fulani and British and Yoruba have done to him. She did not. Okay. All right. So she put it there to play her Fulani lip service. Yes, that's what she put it there for. Okay. Let's watch the 7th video.
Think America's founding nations were only in Europe? Here are 5 African peoples dragged to the colonies that became the United States, who still stamped their names on it. Wolof from Senegambia, early arrivals in the 1600s. Low country planters prized their coastal know-how. Even American slang may carry Wolof echoes. Think juke. Mandinka, also Senegambia and Sierra Leone. Rice specialists. Their tidal rice expertise turned Carolina into Carolina gold, an export engine the colonies couldn't live without. Akan, from the Gold Coast. Their presence shows up in the records. Day names like Kudjo, Quash, Cuffy appear in South Carolina notices and church books. African identity insisting on being heard. Igbo, from the Bight of Biafra. A huge share of Chesapeake arrivals. Their resistance is legend. Igbo Landing, 1803. Captives who chose the water over slavery, a story still taught on Georgia's coast. Congo-Angola peoples, Central Africa. In the colony's earliest decades, they were everywhere from Virginia to the Carolinas. Their speech left fingerprints. Goober for peanut comes from Kimbundun Guba. Tote has Central African roots. 5 names. One country reshaped. If this reframed your map of America, share it and follow for the next.
You have seen the video and heard that Igbo Bight or Biafra is among the 5 nations that built America. Another shock to the British Fulani Yoruba and the Isaac Adakaboro Tompolo Ijaw, as well as other haters and traitors of the Nnamdi Kanu IPOB Biafra Freedom Restoration. Yes. Let's see a recent Daily Post news with the caption Canada court ruling on APC PDP grounds to deproscribe IPOB, to deproscribe IPOB, to reverse it. That's the photo, and this one is Barrister Aloy Ejimako that was featured in this Daily Post. Yes, so you can see that Biafra is fully ready. Fully ready. And this time, British have no ground to keep Biafra and be sucking Biafra and be doing evil secrecies. Not this time. Because you see these eyes, it don't open. Yes, our eyes don't open. Well. Yes, sir. Let's continue to be reminded that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was freed unconditionally on 13 October 2022 by Abuja, Nigeria Appeal Court, West Africa. And on 24 June 2025, Kenya High Court, East Africa, similarly freed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. Yes. Omotosho has no justification ground to continue with the trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He doesn't have that ground. Yes. So he should be allowed to go scot-free. He's been freed already. Yes, so he should be allowed to go. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Anireju News. If you would like to donate to Charity Humanitarian, you can do so on my Cash App. You can also visit Anireju News online shop to order for the t-shirts, pens, mugs, and souvenir. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to bring to the attention of the world that the Ijaw Isaac Adakaboro was in secret agreement with Fulani Tafawa Balewa to form Niger Delta movement, sponsored by the Northern Fulanis, led to his own destruction when the Fulanis no longer have use for him. So, Igbo have nothing to do with the death of Adakaboro. Yes. Thank you.
Mete wa Biafra de no. Mete na wa Biafra de no. Asina heri jibi megi. Mete wa